Hello and welcome back to the course on Power BI. Today we're going to add some finishing touches to our wonderful business intelligence report. All right, so let's get straight into it. First of all, you can see that I've adjusted the colors. I've decided to go with more conservative colors for the job classification, and they tie in better to the overall picture. Then I've changed some colors on the map, and also adjusted the colors for gender. And now what we want to do is we want to, first of all, have a look at how this report works. Without analyzing it at this stage, we want to just understand the interactivity that is present on this report. So, for instance, if I click on something here, you can see that everything adjusts. So the number at the top changes, which now shows us the number of people or customers in this region. In Scotland, it tells us the distribution, how it changes, and in fact you can actually see the previous distribution behind it there. You can, same thing here. Here you cannot see the previous, how the charts looked previously, but you can also see how they've changed. Now the first question is, why is this necessary? Why do we need this interactivity? Well, just imagine that you deliver this report to a bank and it has 4 regions as depicted here, and naturally you'd expect that each region would have its own executive. So, for example, the CEO of the bank overall would like to see this whole picture and understand what's going on in the bank or with the customers of the bank generally. But then the executive in each of those individual regions would want to see what's going on with their specific customer base, right? And that's what this report allows you to do, or allows them to do. It allows them to drill into or recreate this visualization very quickly just for their segment of the market, just for what they are responsible for. Also, moreover, you can drill into separate segments of your bank overall. So you can look at just your female customers, or you can look at all of your blue collar customers or white collar customers, and you can look at different age groups. So by holding down control, as you can see, I'm looking now at everybody under 40. So we'll get to the analytics of that, but for now what is peculiar is that when we select something here on the map, these charts do have a history of what the overall looks like, but these don't. So why does that happen? Well, I did a bit of an investigation, and I found that the reason for that is that we added this table calculation, the percentage of total. So I'll show you on an example. So I'm going to go to the quick calc and remove the percentage of total. So just click OK. And now you'll see when I select the different regions, you can still see the previous split, and then you can see a new overlaid split on top of that. So it's probably not the best solution in this case. So it's a bit kind of it's a bit counterintuitive, or it just doesn't really portray the insights, this new part of the visualization inside. So it's actually not that not such a big problem that we can't see it when we add the percentage of total. So perhaps at the time when you're watching this video, this has been resolved by Power BI. They're constantly upgrading the software, but if not, it's not a big deal. And the same thing for the tree map. You can test it out for yourself. So if you remove the percentage of total calculation, you'll see that it adjusts in the same way. Now, that is a good segue into how can we control the behavior of these visualizations. Well, over here, if you go into Format, there's a button called Edit Interactions. If you click that, it will allow you to decide which interactions you want and which interactions you don't want. So for instance, if I click this map, you can see that this map is selected. All of the other elements on this visualization, they now have this additional option at the top where I can select what type of interaction I want. So what will happen when I click the map? What will happen to this visualization, for instance? Will it be filtered? Will it be highlighted, or will nothing happen? So if I select nothing, and then I uncheck Edit Interactions, and now if I click this map, you can see that everything is updating except for this part of the visualization. Okay, so if I now click Edit Interactions, and instead of nothing, I select Filter, and then uncheck that, you'll see that what's happening now is that it's no longer showing me the history of what was there before. It's just updating this visualization completely. So you might want that type of behavior on your visualization. You might not want to compare it to what you used to have, especially in this case. As you can see, when you have the history, then it's really hard it can be hard to tell what's going on, because you've got the two layers one after the other. So that's how this works. So let's, for example, let's click on this again, and let's say we want to filter this one as well. So now you can see that it's updating and there's nothing in the background. So it might be easier to work with this type of visualization. But that's totally up to you how you want it to work. I personally will probably leave it like this, because I'm more used to this approach where you don't see what was going on in the background, what was going on previously. And moreover, these charts are structured in that way anyway, so that way it's consistent throughout. But then you'd have to change it for all of them, right? So you would need to change it for, if you're going to be using it for this chart as well, you need to go into this chart and then select filter here. And then again, you need to then just uncheck that, or you can just keep it checked and just select them all like that. So make sure that one is on filter, then that one, and then that one. So let's see how that works. Okay, so I guess we need to select each one like that, each one separately. Let's have a look. That one's set up, so all we have to do is set up this one. Yep. And have we set this one up yet? No. All right. So that should solve the problem. So whichever chart I click now, they all will just filter to the final result. So there's no other chart in the background. That's what my personal preference. You might have your own approach in this situation. All right, so that is how we set up these charts. That's how we work with the interactivity or interactions in the background. And in the next tutorial, we're going to actually derive the insights from this visualization. I look forward to seeing you next time, and until then, happy analyzing.